Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. I guess it's Groundhog Day today because it's the exact same video I've been making pretty much on repeat for the last, let's call it, 2 months. Of course not every day, but definitely every week and sometimes twice a week. I can't believe I'm saying it again, but I am. And I'm not just repeating it for the sake of repeating, no, there's actual new information that's dropped. Things just officially got worse for Fani Willis. In fact, this may be the end of the road. And I'm not the one saying it, legal analysts at CNN are now essentially going on the record claiming that Fani Willis will be disqualified based on the information that was dropped in court today. Nathan Wade testified, as well as some other witnesses that were pulled in. This is pretty much exactly what I alluded to in the previous video. I didn't want to make any grand claim that Fani Willis 100% lied under oath pertaining to the time that her and Nathan Wade started their relationship, but I did say that supposedly there's witnesses that are willing to take the stand to testify to that exact fact, and lo and behold, that's exactly what we got today. Fani Willis lied to the court. She lied under oath. That's as the top cop, the AG, the Attorney General of Fulton County. That cannot happen in one of the highest positions of legal power, especially not when it has implications in one of the biggest cases to ever hit Fulton County, involving prosecuting a former president. Fani Willis is done. There's no coming back from this. Her career is over, or at least her career in public service is over. I'm sure she's going to get a real nice, cushy private sector job, thanks to her Democrat connections, but her job as AG, she's done. Her position in this case, over. And the whole case, at this point, is either going to be thrown in the trash or delayed well beyond the election to the point where it's no longer significant. Let me show you guys exactly what happened. Trust me when I tell you we got some real interesting stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so let's first start off with the flashback that we've played a couple times before. Here's a Fani Willis statement that hasn't exactly aged well.
Because they deserve a DA that won't have sex with his employees. Because they deserve a DA that won't put money in their own pocket when it should go to benefit children. Because we deserve better.
The people of Fulton County deserve a DA that won't have intercourse with their employees. A DA that won't put money into their own pocket. Those are literally the words that came out of Fani Willis's mouth while she was campaigning in 2020. And well, do I really even need to say it? That's pretty much exactly what she did. I mean, like a perfect description. Maybe she thought that that was the job description at the time, but anyways, she claimed that she would never. But it turns out that she just couldn't reject the temptation. That's exactly what she did. She put her boyfriend in a position of power and then benefited financially. And we now have a witness who has officially testified under oath that Fani Willis's relationship with Nathan Wade started before that interview and started well before the Trump case, which I think started in 2022 or late 2021.
For what personal and romantic is later. When I ask you personal, do you take that to mean romantic?
Yes.
Okay. And do you understand it that their relationship began in 2019 and continued until the last time you spoke with her?
Yes.
That's the confirmation back in 2019, just as we reported in the previous video. It was alleged that their relationship actually started back in 2019 during some sort of conference. I forget the actual name of the conference, but whatever, we covered it in the last video. Now it seems rather official. Both implicated parties have admitted that they were in a personal relationship, even though Nathan Wade technically was an employee or was working under Fani Willis as the top cop. But of course they attempted to defend themselves by claiming, well actually, the relationship only started after the Trump case had begun, therefore we're absolved of wrongdoing. No, you're not, first off, and secondly, the whole defense was built on a lie. They were together prior, and that witness testimony is the most damning news that Fani Willis has yet to receive. And I said earlier in the intro that even CNN is admitting that, but that was a mistake on my part. It was actually MSNBC, which is, well, even worse considering this is like the leftist hub. Just take a look.
It's so legalistic centric and yet so important and fascinating.
Right. Don't let the legalese fool you. This is epic. This is monumental. If things are going in the direction we think, Fani Willis lied to the court. It's game over for her. She will be disqualified. If they had a relationship prior to when they represented to the court, it's a huge deal. I can't overstate it.
And do you feel the same way, Charles, based on the testimony of what we just heard? And we just learned Nathan Wade, who is the special prosecutor in this case, walked in the courtroom. He is being sworn in to testify now about this issue and his relationship with Fani Willis. Let's listen.
MSNBC's legal analyst is claiming that it's game over for her and that she will be disqualified. Fani Willis is done. The evidence at this point is simply too damning. And their defense, well, not only is it just not adding up, but it's just lackluster to say the least. There's this defense from Nathan Wade.
Get into the charges on the card, because so traveling with her is a task. You can probably imagine the tension that happens. So,
well, traveling with her is a task. There's this part.
Let me say this. Let's take the Belize trip, for example, since you started there. That was a birthday gift to me, so I paid nothing for that trip. Zero.
Okay. So the charges that are on your card, she gave you cash for?
She did.
Okay.
For safety reasons, she would limit her transactions. I mean, imagine trying to walk through an airport or sit at a restaurant or do anything. So there's no attempt to conceal. It's a credit card. Everything is here. So.
And that's not what I asked.
Okay.
What I asked was the charges for Belize in March 2023 on that credit card. Those are things you purchased to go with Miss Willis to Belize.
Those are things that we booked with my card that she paid, yes.
Where Nathan Wade claims that, well, he was paying for it on his business card. He was paying for the lavish trips on his business card, and she was reimbursing him in cash. Does that sound like a legitimate defense? Because to me, that sounds a little bit like tax fraud, possibly? You mean to tell me that you two were taking personal trips on your business card? Interesting now, isn't it? Now, look, I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. I'd like to see how his accounting was done for the year. You can pay for a personal trip with your business card and then not write it off as a business expense, but rather attach it to your salary. So I'm not going to say that there's some sort of tax issue here, but I love the constant plausible deniability that they're constantly trying to set up. Well, she was reimbursing me in cash. Seems like the perfect justification, the perfect excuse. She was paying him back in cash, therefore she wasn't benefiting, but you can't exactly prove a cash transaction. What's he gonna do? Pull a couple Benjamins out of his back pocket and say, well, look, here's the cash she gave me back. Who's to say that that cash came from her? There's no logging of the transaction itself. There's no way to confirm that. And so it's the same kind of defense that they've attempted to use from the start. Let's call it the muddying the waters defense. Well, we were in a relationship, but not before I hired him to work below me. Well, yeah, I did pay for her trips, but you know, traveling with Fani is a real task, and so we did so. We put it on my card because of security implications, and then she reimbursed me full in cash. Yeah, sure, bud. Nobody is buying it because it's a load of crap. Fani and her lover boy Nathan Wade sound like two people who have been caught, and they're willing to say literally anything to get out of it. And at the end of the day, no matter what they say, it doesn't change the actual core facts of this case. They acted inappropriately. There was a clear conflict of interest, a clear issue of enriching oneself through this connection. And what makes it even worse is you're talking about enriching yourself by embezzling taxpayer dollars. They were in a relationship back in 2019 before the case. They acted inappropriately. The facts have come to light, and nothing they say changes any of it. This Georgia case is done. We've been covering it like crazy, especially lately. I mean, it's been non-stop coverage of Fani Willis, what's going on with Fani Willis, but I have a certain feeling that that's going to end pretty soon here. We're probably going to do one sort of video culminating the whole thing. Fani Willis officially resigns or is removed from her position, a possible abandoning or dismissing of the case outright. I think we're getting to that point pretty soon. It's just going to be a done and dusted situation. And so I guess less of Fani Willis and more of Jack Smith moving forward. What an interesting world we live in. I swear you couldn't write these storylines if you tried. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.